Alex McCullum sits in perfect position to hang on to a strong title lead in this season's SARA 1-8 Racing Media National Tour Championship battle. He'll start tonight's Simrat Market Fall Brawl 250 from, well, not quite pole position, but he qualified on pole position. Cole Cabry needs to win the race and hope for a sour day for driver number 1, and that's just the start of it. Tonight we'll crown a National Tour champion here at Five Flags Speedway. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Pensacola, Florida. My name is Andrew Cardinale the fifth with, oh wow. You know, I had to say it earlier at the pharmacy. I had to say Andrew Cardinale the 5th, and Andrew Cardinale the 4th. I'm the 4th. My son's the 5th. Zach, I can't believe this. What have I done?
That's okay, it happens.
I've completely, wow. Andrew Cardinale the 4th. I'm the 4th. Wow. Anyways, yes, broadcast is happening, and, well, I've just completely thrown the very skillfully typed intro out the window, but welcome to the Simrat Market Fall Brawl 250. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by 1-8 Racing Media, by Simrat Market, and by SARA Next Gen Templates. And Zach, if we can get back on track here, just like these drivers are trying to do, this is one heck of a place to go racing. It's not at all easy, just like saying an intro that's typed out in front of your face is not so easy. This is a difficult place to get around in a super late model, but it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I said it on Tuesday night, and I'm going to say it here again. This track acts a lot like Hickory Motor Speedway. There's a lot of complexity into Five Flags Speedway. Turns 1 and 2 are a little different from 3 and 4. You can even see it on our broadcast graphic right here on your screen. There just seems to be a little bit of a difference between the two. Turn 1 and 2 is a little more pointed, 3 and 4 is a little more rounded. The banking is a little different compared to each other. It's such a complex racetrack, but it always puts on outstanding racing here in Pensacola, Florida. There's a lot of great stars that have had their names made here, and there's a lot of great stars tonight that are going to make their names and etch them into a trophy or something of some way, shape, or form by winning this extravagant fall brawl race. Alex McCullum, like you said, Andrew, he is in prime position to take advantage of what he's got going on at the moment. You see here points graphic on your screen. McCullum really just needs to have a solid finish tonight. It's all but locked up for him. I think he has to finish 18th or higher to lock in the championship.
Yeah, what we were told by Matt Rolfe was 18th or better for Alex McCullum, and he will wrap up the championship. That's with keeping in mind a potential Cole Cabry win. So if Cabry wins the race, McCullum has to finish 18th or better to win the championship and not make it a conversation. Now, if Cabry wins the race and McCullum finishes 19th or worse, that would switch things around and Cabry could win this championship. But as long as Alex McCullum is better than 18th spot, which he's starting 7th, he's going to be all right. And
that raises a question, though, Andrew, not to cut you off, but wouldn't that mean then that Cabry would just need to finish at least 17 positions in front of Alex McCullum then? Or is this only factoring in if he wins the race?
I think the points pay a little bit differently per position. I don't think it's exactly one per position. Otherwise, if it was one per position, Cabry would be mathematically eliminated already. So it's a little bit of a different point scaling. So, you know what? We can go to racesara.com and use one of our wonderful resources here and get the exact point payout and talk a little more about that as warm-up comes to a close here this evening. We'll work on that in the background. In the meantime, we've got cars about to head to the racetrack on the grid. That means we're about to go racing as warm-up comes to a close with Alex McCullum on top of the board, Jacob Harbert second, Cole Cabry third, Brandon Wilkinson, Kyle Souza, your top 5. Warm-up close, we're about to go racing. We're just waiting on the session to take over, and then we can put up the grid graphic and talk about who is starting where this evening for 250 laps at the Five Flags Speedway. You see cars heading to the grid. Brandon Wilkinson will start this race on pole. He has earned that by the invert. He qualified 7th. A 7-car invert puts Brandon Wilkinson on pole this evening. Ryan Kuhn from 2nd spot. Starting 3rd, it'll be Joe Schaefer Jr. 4th, it'll be Colin Slife. Starting 5th, it'll be Spencer Dickinson, who qualified 3rd on Tuesday evening. Alex Greats, second fastest qualifier, will start from 6th. Starting 7th, there he is, your championship leader, Alex McCullum. Aaron Johnson will start from 8th. Starting 9th and 10th, it's Jacob Harberts and Blake Thronberg. That's the balance of drivers that qualified their way in on Tuesday through just time trials.
Now you've got the heat race drivers, Parker Traves and Steele Langford. They were your heat race winners that ended up transferring in, starting 11th and 12th on the grid tonight. And then rolling through the rest of the field, you've got 13th and 14th on the starting grid tonight. That is going to be, that's going to be Brian Tedeschi and Cole Cabry. Cabry having a bit of a lackluster qualifying injury. We've made some comments on that on Tuesday night, trying to see what was going on with him. But I think he's got a solid shot after the practice time today. Kyle Terzak, number 15, starting 15th, and Kyle Souza to his outside in 16th. Matt Rolfe and Joel Smith in 17th and 18th starting position on the night, and then 19th and 20th on the starting grid tonight. That's going to be Dylan Bates and Richie Murray. But Andrew, we still got 11 more cars to cover, and we got one more lap to do it.
Here's the next 11. The back 11, Dylan Calabro, Justin Crow, 21st and 22nd, 23rd and 24th. You find Dallas Pataska and James Pileski, your LCQ winners. Cameron Hamilton starts from 25th, Jake Grout from 26th spot. Starting 27th is Deegan Smith, 28th is Kyle Meyer, 29th and 30th, Ben Nile and Keith Jeffrey. And finally, 31st spot, you'll find Eric Tracy. 31 cars set to go racing this evening. Let's take a look at your Whiplash SimCam's race details. 250 laps, 2 change sets, will need fuel, cautions will count, 2 green-white checkers if needed, open setup, no fast fixes. The iRacing.com safety car will stay on the racetrack for another lap and let these guys sit in their thoughts and get ready to go racing for the final time this season in the SARA 1-8 Racing Media National Tour. 12 races throughout the course of 2024. It all started back at New Smyrna in February. That's the wrong schedule. Here's the right schedule. Back at New Smyrna in February. Hickory then in March. North Wilkesboro in May. Milwaukee and South Boston in June. Langley in July. Oxford and Slinger in August. Martinsville in September. Myrtle Beach in October. And now Five Flags here in November. Waiting on the green flag, and there it is for the final time this season. We're racing at Five Flags. Ryan Kuhn, Brandon Wilkinson will duke it out for the race lead up ahead on lap number 2. Kuhn on the outside, Wilkinson on the inside. The Epic Media Ford Mustang Dark Horse wraps the bottom lane, has the nose ahead through 3 and 4, and will lead the second lap as a caution is out for the first time tonight.
Saw Aaron Johnson going around. We see multiple cars in the wall.
Jake Grout, a lot of damage on his number 49 car.
Alex McCullum goes purple under a yellow flag. Keep in mind, so there are 2 cars. You see Deegan Smith back there. He's gotten involved in this one. He got into a few incidents in heat race night. So to start his race this way is not exactly what you want to see. There's Aaron Johnson lipping around the bottom. Deegan Smith looks like that car's okay. Keith Jeffrey, he's all right from the looks of it. Looking through race control, you got Jake Grout and Eric Tracy, who have got some issues with their car. They've got put for a pair of flags to take another look back at it.
Just wrapping up lap
Hamilton.
1. Grout back here behind the 10 car of Cameron Hamilton. Eric Tracy's a little bit further back, just a few cars back. Grout into, it started way further up the road.
Yeah, and I think Deegan Smith didn't realize fully what was going on in front of him and just ran right into the back of Jake Grout. Because Aaron Johnson did go around as well. Yeah, there he is going around. Souza's in the wall.
So really this starts with Aaron Johnson, Blake Thronberg on the back bumper of that 78 car. Johnson tried to fit a car into a not quite car length hole.
Tedeschi was already there.
Yeah, on the nose of Tedeschi at a turn 3. He was trying to get down in line and there just wasn't room to do it. You'll see here, Aaron Johnson tries to move down. Tedeschi lunges into the corner and just closes that gap between Traves and Tedeschi. That sends the 78 car for a spin. Kyle Souza absolutely pummels the outside wall.
That's not what Cabry wanted to see. It looks like he got a little piece of it as well.
On board with Cole Cabry here.
There's Dashy right in front of me. See Aaron Johnson come down, goes up the track, and he hit Kyle Souza. So on the right side, you can see a little bit of damage. Oh, that's a lot more damage than I thought it was going to be.
Long race. There's plenty of time to get a couple of pit stops in and try to knock that damage out.
Speaking of pit stops, fuel number, about 170 laps.
We expect at least one stop for every car. There are 2 change sets of tires. We expect some 2 tire stops this evening. I wouldn't be surprised if we see lefts go on first and rights go on later. Or just 2 sets of rights and keep the lefts on all race. That would be a rather bold strategy. Well, Alex McCullum will somehow cycle through to 2nd spot here. Ryan Kuhn falls back to 3rd. Brandon Wilkinson will lead the race as we work into the Geico restart zone, but the restart zone anyway. It's green flag back in the air. And down the front stretch, lap 8 is complete. Wilkinson goes fastest. McCullum now goes even faster. Here we go. Here comes the 1 car right to the inside of Wilkinson. He's forcing the issue early.
That was a big lunge by Alex McCullum. Virtue of the choose, it put him up into the 2nd spot. Ryan Kuhn decided to choose the bottom. We got cars spinning in the back, and the caution flag is going to come out just as quickly as it did before. Multiple cars around. See Aaron Johnson slow, you see Kyle Souza slow, Keith Jeffrey, Brian Tedeschi. Something happened back there. You see Grout still with the nose off the car. I think Steele Langford might have gotten involved as well.
I'm glad you mentioned the choose because that does tell a bit of a story as far as McCullum getting to 2nd place through the choose. A lot of cars choosing the bottom of the racetrack as this is what happened behind the initial accident. Something happened a little bit further up.
Steele Langford, that might have been Kyle Meyer back there. They have very similar paint schemes.
Once again, this happened. Oh, it was Steele Langford.
Oh, it was Steele Langford.
Along with Kyle Turzak, it looks like.
Turzak's got some right side damage. He's looking for somebody, or he's just trying to get a spot back right there.
All right, I found where it started. I have finally found it. Watch Steele Langford in the 33 car work on the outside of Blake Thronberg. That is the 17 on the inside. I believe that's Alex Grates, and he just gets into the 33 and sends the 33 at the racetrack. Steele was just trying to get down in line.
The same thing that happened on the last caution. I think we're going to see that a lot tonight then, Andrew. Based off of how the events have shaped up in these first 10, 13 laps.
One more time, we'll watch from Kyle Turzak's perspective, right with Cole Cabry.
Him running up there, going around. Oh, Cabry got tapped. Cabry seems to be getting a little bit of a piece of everything tonight, and we've only had 2 cautions.
Turzak got ran over from behind and sent up the racetrack and all of that. Everybody just checking up early.
Right front damage on that 15 car. He's got some rear end damage as well.
A lot of damage.
I remember a time when the super late models, the bodies were a little bit more sturdy on the sim, and you hate to see it for Kyle Turzak. Deacon Smith on pit road. Eric Tracy, he's still in the pit lane after that lap 3 incident. Turzak staying out.
Goes 1 lap down on all of this.
Should be choosing this time by, I believe. Yep, choosing this time from race control. McCullum takes the bottom with Wilkinson. Looks like Ryan Kuhn wants to go back to the top. Dickinson goes bottom. See, Schaefer goes bottom. A lot of drivers picking bottom.
Brandon Wilkinson going to bring us back around to the green flag. 2 early cautions here in this 250 lapper. We hope that's not a signal of what's to come. Restart zone, green flag, back in the air here. We can get that first lap in off the restart, but then it's like everything goes crazy after that. Side by side here, not second place. The first side by side is for fourth. The 2-6 cars. You've got Schaefer on the outside, Dickinson on the inside.
Dickinson had a pretty good restart, to be perfectly honest, Andrew. He was able to stay up there with those guys. He was next to Ryan Kuhn for a hot minute, but now he's fallen into the clutches of Joe Schaefer Jr. He's got Jacob Harberts on his back bumper, Thronberg right behind. Looks like Harberts is going to follow the 6, try to stay on the bottom, keep that hole closed up so Schaefer can't exactly plug it the second Dickinson gets clear. So that's some work by Harberts being done, and that's what we like to call some offensive driving. But the fight still continues. Oh, we got wrecking off turn number 4. You jinxed us, Andrew. Oh, Hamilton's no. Upside down. Tedeschi's involved.
And Cameron Hamilton will tow to the pit lane. That'll be it.
That's unfortunate for Hamilton. He was actually having a solid run. You got Steele Langford with a pit for a repair flag as well, so he might have gotten a piece of it. Just a stack-up accordion effect. Hamilton goes up the racetrack. He taps the wall, and Langford just, wow, okay.
Langford tagged the back end of the 10 car. And when the left rear hit, it's like it dug in, even though this is asphalt. It's like it just got stuck there on the asphalt and pulled the car over. That's one of the stranger accidents I've seen.
Usually you only see a rollover like that at a dirt track when it grabs the car and just pile drives it up in the air like that.
Cameron Hamilton racing around. That was Dylan Calabro who got in the back of him. There was a stack up with Pataska.
Saw Aaron Johnson tag the inside wall there too. He's been involved in too much tonight, and we're only on lap 22.
So a chaotic start to this 250 lap race. Oh boy, there's a long ways to go, and we've seen now 3 big accidents here at this Five Flags Speedway. You certainly hope at this point that this is not what the rest of the race has in store, but at the same time you know that this absolutely can be the way the rest of the race goes. So now focus goes on saving fuel, focus goes on nailing these restarts, getting track position quickly. And the unfortunate thing is for these guys, because they have to focus on getting track position quickly, that's only going to make it more possible for accidents to happen, more likely for accidents to happen, Zach. I mean, once you start rushing like this, that's just what happens. I know there's 225 laps left, but still, you want to get that track position early and hang on to it.
Yeah, you want to just be able to find your way in line, really. I know a lot of drivers have been, and they've been forcing the issue a tad, which has set us up for these few cautions that we've had so far. But patience is a virtue right now, and you are, what, a 10th of the way through this race? You got plenty of time.
There you see the shoes. I want to give a thank you to All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bowdy Motorsports, Pro Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hyde's Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage, Pierce Fleet Service, and so many more as we go back. Green Flag Racing, Wilkinson back to the restart zone, and we are green once again. McCullum gets clear for second spot. He will get out ahead of Ryan Kuhn. The two 6 cars go back side by side, just in reverse order now. Schaefer on the inside this time, Dickinson on the outside, and that wraps up your top 5. Harbert's there in 6th, then Thronberg, then Trades.
Yeah, Harbert's trying to plug that hole once again. And I don't know if you saw it when you were getting some seasonal asthma while trying to list off our great partners that we have associated with the series, but Wilkinson and Kuhn kind of pinched each other on the restart, which allowed Wilkinson to get a big gap on him, and McCullum filled that hole beautifully to get that car back up to 2nd. So it's been a real changing of the guard for 2nd place on these restarts between Alex McCullum and Ryan Kuhn. And now you see McCullum once again, he's in sight of Wilkinson. That 56 car can run, but he cannot hide. Alex McCullum runs it a little high, cuts it down, and he's going to get right on the back bumper of the 56, taking a look to the inside.
A big dive once again. It works out so far. He gets alongside of Wilkinson, falls back out of the corner, will dive to the inside once again out of turn 1, thinks better of it, backed out at the last second. That was smart. That hole was closing big time.
Little wiggle coming on turn number 4. I feel like that kind of upset the car and didn't allow McCullum to keep that run going, but he's coming back. I think we had one car have some smoke there on the front straightaway, but it's all cleared up now. Keep it on racing. Wilkinson with a little wiggle off of turn number 2. He's rolling steady though. McCullum takes a look again off corner exit. He's going to try to set him up for entry on the front straightaway here. Taking a look to the inside, pokes the nose in front, rolled through center. He's still got it, Andrew. Coming off of turn number 2, new race leader, Alex McCullum.
There you see the pass made from the onboard of Alex McCullum. He will take over on lap 33 of 250. He was fastest in practice by nearly 2/10. It was a 1/10 and a half and change, and caution is out. Aaron Johnson's got a lot of new damage.
Can't tell if he's trying to get some position back or going looking for somebody. Saw Pataska come over the radio to take the hit for that one, and oh wow. Heavy hits for these drivers.
Richie Murray involved, Alex Greats involved. I'm trying to figure out how this actually started. Murray got tagged.
That
That's
was
the
by
08 car.
Pataska.
It's the black, white, and green 08 of Richie Murray. It wasn't Pataska, it was Pileski. I was trying to figure out this whole time. Pileski gets into the 08 right there and just sends the 08 for a spin. That collects the 78 and the 17 all at once.
Read the hotkey wrong then there, Andrew. In my defense, their last names look a little similar.
They do, and they were the two LCQ winners. Here's the view from Alex Greats. He just ended up right on top of it in a hurry.
Saw Richie Murray just go way up the racetrack after what could be considered an Aaron Johnson sandwich. Oh, there you see Eric Tracy. He's coming out of pit road. He's a number of laps down right now. Eric Tracy 5 laps down. Deegan Smith has taken that car behind the wall. He's done for the event. He has left the racetrack officially. You got Cameron Hamilton still 4 laps down. Alex Graves and Trout, they are your first 2 cars 1 lap down. So as it stands, Andrew, we're 38 laps into this event. And if the caution keeps coming out, then someone like Cameron Hamilton, who's 4 laps down, plus the 2 additional ones, considering he's got 2 cars 1 lap down ahead of him, he'll get back on the lead lap.
I think there's time for a lot of these guys that have damage or feel like they're out of the race to get back into this thing, at least to get some positions and move up the order as far as the payout goes, right? You've got, I mean, each of these guys, each of these drivers, just from making the race, win their $20 entry fee back. But you have to imagine staying in it and trying to get these positions as the day goes on is only going to benefit your pocketbook a little bit more and more and more. So it's worth it to stay in the race and try to get what you can here as we go back into the restart zone and go back green flag racing. McCullum on the loud pedal. Wilkinson side by side with Harberts. Wilkinson will clear Harberts, and Harberts will drop down right in behind him for fourth. It's the 6 and the 60 side by side now. Parker Traves on the outside, and Joe Schaefer Jr. on the inside.
Tell me this is deja vu, Andrew, because look at those top two. We've seen them up there battling each other before for the race lead, time and time again. We haven't seen it in a little while. It was nice to see again Ryan Kuhn, Alex McCullum, your top two. As we look at the fights through the field, Parker Traves trying to hang on over Schaefer Jr. Look at Bates. He's making that outside line work for him, Andrew. He's got Slife right behind him. Throneberg's falling down to 10th, but he's still staying in it right now.
And Bates, it seems, will get clear down to the bottom of the racetrack, maybe, or is that 6 car still down there? No, he's gotten clear now.
Back the fence a little right there.
So it gets clear of Dickinson, and that strings out the top, 12 or so, all the way back to Matt Rolfe, who's 12th spot. So the top 11 are all single file. The first side-by-side now is Rolfe and Cabry. Cabry with still a lot of right front damage. Second place in the championship. Haven't talked much about him in these opening 50.
Speaking of which, Andrew, we went to racesara.com. Great place to check out all the great stuff here for the SARA series. The points system as it goes for them is they're separated 2 points per position. It's 100 points for first, 98 for second, 96 for third, and so forth. You see the beautiful yellow circle going over that right front damage on Cole Cabry. Now, we said by virtue, Cabry has to win the race and Alex McCullum has to finish 18th or worse. So, if I do my math correctly, it still changes up a little bit as we got the fight for second going on. Wilkinson trying to get clear of Ryan Kuhn. He's moved himself in front. He's got the nose. He's got the car length. Can he get clear off of 4? Maybe not. Ryan Kuhn is still hanging up on that outside line, but Jacob Harberts, he's bringing a train of cars with him. You've got Traves, Schaefer, Bates, all looking to take advantage of this.
Ryan Kuhn caught on the outside of the racetrack is falling back in a hurry. We're about to see a similar situation with Dickinson caught on the outside of Throneberg. But this is a little bit higher up the order. This for third place now. Harbert's on the inside. Kuhn on the outside. And this might be okay for now for Ryan Kuhn and company because this is still early. You want that long run speed. It's okay if these guys move by for now. Problem is, you got to go get them and pass them back later on. So this is not ideal for Ryan Kuhn for sure, but it might not be the end of the world or anything. This might be part of the plan. You don't know.
You never know. There's always differing strategies on the racetrack. I'm just not a fan of running up on the high side for too long and burning up tires. And I think if you're fighting for a lap or two, maybe 3 at most, at that point I think you just got to bite the bullet and back off a little bit. Let them run away from you, save your tires a little more.
Meanwhile, Alex McCullum was out to a 1.3 second lead. And back on the championship conversation, all that really needs to be known right now is he would win this championship as this thing stands with a 7th win on the season in just 12 races. He would absolutely ramp things up right now by a large margin over or Cole Cabry rather. Getting the wrong Cabry in mind. Maybe because Cole's got to do the chasing right now, and so far it has just not been his day. He is down to 17th spot now.
He has been struggling since the first caution came out. He got that right front damage, but
oh dear, iRacing, you've failed us again. Oh boy. Well, we'll be right back. Stand by. I'll get back into iRacing as soon as I can here. And in the meantime, Zach, if you could, radio style for us.
Oh, baby, it's radio style once again here at Pit Stop TV. Alex McCullum still leads the way, lap 58 of 250. Brandon Wilkinson, Ryan Kuhn, Parker Traves, and Jacob Harberts. Your top 5 as it stands: Joe Schaefer Jr., Dylan Bates, Spencer Dickinson, Blake Throenberg, and Joel Smith. Currently your top 10 running positions. The first fight on the racetrack, that's going to be Spencer Dickinson and Joel Smith. They're fighting for the 9th spot at the moment. Currently, Dickinson has gotten that car out in front, single file, but up the road, the fight now goes again. Ryan Kuhn, he's fighting with Parker Traves for that 3rd spot. They're side by side rolling through turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Traves with the nose out in front going into turn number 3. And that is going to be a position potentially cleared no off of turn number 4. Still side by side at start finish line. Lap 61 underway as Traves continues to keep that nose in front of Ryan Kuhn out in front. Alex McCullum, he's worked himself out to a 2.03 second lead. Going to be a little bit further. He brings it across the line, lap 62. Pulls another 10th on Brandon Wilkinson. That time by, he's really doing what he needs to do right now to keep that car out in front and really keep himself rolling. Eric Tracy has pulled himself down to the security of the pit lane as Alex McCullum sends him another lap down, going on to lap 63 of the event. Still holding solid. First car 1 lap down at the moment. That's going to be Alex Grates. He's sitting in the 27th position currently. He is the only car 1 lap down. Jake Grout has gone 2 down. He is way up out of the groove out of turn number 4. He's letting a lot of these guys go right next to Dylan Bates. Oh my goodness. That could have been very, very bad for those drivers. But in any case, Grout is getting out of the way. He is still rolling slow down the back straightaway. He might take it to the security of the pit lane here. It all remains to be seen. No, he's going to stay on the racetrack. Still 2 laps down. Cameron Hamilton, 4 laps down. Eric Tracy, 8 laps down, still in the pit lane. And Deacon Smith, your only car out of the race at the moment. Radio style is always great here at Pit Stop TV. We love getting the chance to showcase things like this, even in certain situations. But hey, we're making it work here as we've got another fight on the racetrack. Jacob Harberts is trying to go around the outside of Ryan Kuhn, who is slowly going backwards. He might be tire saving, who knows? But Harbert's got the nose in front on the outside line, coming off of turn number 4 onto lap 67. And he's got a right front. He's got a right front on his left rear as Ryan Kuhn is still trying to hang tough. But he gets the job done. Leaves the hole open for Joe Schaefer Jr. to take the outside line around Ryan Kuhn. As Parker Traves is working on Brandon Wilkinson for the 2nd spot. Things are still heating up at the front of the field. Schaefer Jr. still along the outside of Ryan Kuhn, who continues to go backwards. It's all well and fun here at Pit Stop TV. We take the camera back on to Alex McCullum, leading the way here still. He's got a huge lead going for him right now still. 2.78 seconds over Parker Traves. He is working himself out to a great gap right now. And hey, we got graphics back, Andrew.
Yes, very nice there. We finally get everything rolling once again. Parker Traves through the 2nd spot, and we pick right back up where we left off with this battle, right from 2nd place on back through the 6th, 7th position or so. Ryan Kuhn falling back there to 6th and 7th, battling with Dylan Bates. iRacing crashed on us, ladies and gents, but we're right back to it.
Single file for the most part now. All these battles are working themselves out. Ryan Kuhn has fallen back behind Dylan Bates now into that 7th spot. I'm not sure if he's just working on tire saving, Andrew. I mean, this is one thing we actually didn't talk about because we floated around the possibility that this race was going to run into a conundrum of cautions. Now we're settling into the fact that we might have an extended green flag run.
Oh, well, there it is. Caution.
Oh, my goodness. I'm knocking on wood. It's not going to do me any good at this point, though.
A little bit late now, Zach.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Commentator's curse for that one. Kyle Souza around at the moment.
Was racing back here with Steele Langford. Steele with a whole lot of damage to his number 33 car. Jake Grout there on the outside lane. And Souza got the wall. Steele had nowhere to go. Boom, outside wall for the 7 car. It was a little scary getting it turned back around.
Got a feel for Kyle Souza on that one.
Got a feel for Alex McCullum and his poor lead that was just dissolved. He had really worked out to a big lead there.
On the bright side, Aaron Johnson just got lapped. He just got the wave around. Or the free pass, if you want to call it that. Oh, that's what it is. Wave around is different from free pass. In any case, there's positives and negatives to the situation, but I don't think Alex McCullum is going to be too upset about, I don't know, losing a little lead that he had. He's got the car to keep that lead. As you see Kyle Souza taking to the security of the pit lane, get that damage fixed on that race car. Currently, at the moment, he does not have a pit for a pair flag, so hopefully that damage is fixable and he will be able to get back on track. Pit stops underway for lead lap cars, though. See a number of cars in pit lane. Matt Rolfe is in, Richie Murray's in, Cole Cabry is in to hopefully get some of that damage fixed and potentially get himself back out on the racetrack and chasing that points championship that he so wants tonight. 2 tires on that car, Andrew.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot to take tires. I doubt you'll see 4 tires go on at all this evening at once anyways. It's just going to take too long. Cabry gets back on the racetrack here just as the iRacing.com pace car comes around to have put him a lap down if he couldn't get back on the racetrack in time. I've been waiting on some damage repairs. He falls down to 25th spot under this caution flag. That's interesting. That's Colin Slive, Matt Rolfe, Keith Jeffrey, Aaron Johnson, Cole Cabry all coming in for tires. 2 tires and fuel.
Now we get to see the choose cone. Choosing this time for these guys. Parker Traves goes high to Alex McCullum's low. See the rest of the drivers coming into frame. Harberts went to the top. Wilkinson still going bottom. Bates went top. Schaefer went bottom. Joel Smith goes to the top. He pulls alongside Ryan Kuhn. Shaping up for an interesting restart here. Andrew Pace car is going to pull off. We're going to set the field, go back racing.
Here we go, into the restart zone one more time. Green flag, back in the air, lap 79. Parker Traves into the second spot, hangs on to it here on the restart. Brandon Wilkinson, Jacob Harberts battle for 3rd and 4th. We don't see a lot of Brandon Wilkinson, but when we do, man, he's got pace. And he's showing it this evening in that 56 car. Started this race on pole by virtue of the invert. Had to qualify as 7th for it. And has done a fantastic job of holding on to that track position here early in this race. 80 laps now complete, and he has not dropped any lower than 3rd spot. And you've got the best in the business hounding him for position.
Yeah, Wilkinson's done an absolute stand-up job keeping that track position. See him fanning out, going into turn number 1. Bates runs real high, loses Harberts there. Schaefer alongside still. Got Ryan Kuhn and Joel Smith right behind them. So the fight's shaping up. Still single file throughout most of the race.
Schaefer got a little free there, got into the 91 of Dylan Bates. Here comes Ryan Kuhn on the outside.
He's not going to have a solid run though, Andrew. That's going to pull Joel Smith alongside to the inside of Ryan Kuhn. He might just start going backwards here. Might make that outside line work for him though. Needs to be seen. He's still got the nose in front of Joel Smith in that 24 EPI and Simpson super late model. Now gets back to single file. Joel lets him in line. Got Throneberg right behind still. Now you see the field roll by the speed shot. Everybody, for the most part, single file as we roll up closer to lap 100 of this event, Andrew.
The first side-by-side, Justin Crow and Matt Rolfe. They battle for the 13th position on the racetrack. This is rather deep in the field at this point. Crow going to fall back. Colin Slifer on the outside in the 31. And here comes James Pileski in the 93 car. More importantly even, Cole Cabry in the 54. Cabri in the 54 is just going through it tonight. But he's able to start using those two right side tires to move through this field to get track position. So what he's lacking in car pristineness, if you will, because he's got that right side damage, he's able to start making up for with right side tires. While he's got that damage, he can try and make this track position up. The problem is he's going to have to come back in and use that second set at some point. You can do this on one set of tires if you want. You can do this on two sets. He's going to have to do it on all three.
He's got his work cut out for him, I'll give you that. Spencer Dickinson moves high. It's going to give Cabri that inside line going into turn number 1. He's going to stick his nose in there and get that car moving in the right direction. I think he got a little bit of that right side damage fixed on that car as well. Not as much as he would potentially like, but what are you going to do? It happens sometimes. You just got to roll with the punches. That's racing sometimes. You got to roll with the give and take, as they like to say. I've seen my fair share of giving and taking on the racetrack, so I can understand what he's going through. But fight, Joel Smith, Blake Throberg, they're side by side as Rolf is on the inside of Tedeschi for that 10th spot. Now he's on the back bumper of Throberg, gets clear of the 29. And he's trying to follow him past Joel Smith, who just tagged the wall on the backstretch.
Lap 92, Throberg and Smith battling tooth and nail. This is for the 8th position on the racetrack, so inside the top 10, and they bring Matt Rolfe along with, who's got the best tires plus position, if you will. He's got two right sides, and he's in the best spot of the drivers who have the right sides. He's the highest up. He's put him to good use.
Clear. Matt Rolfe is doing some work right now. You know, Andrew, we were impressed with Rolfe's qualifying performance in Tuesday night's qualifying and heat racing. He ended up having to run a heat race, obviously. He didn't lock in through the top 10. But hey, he put himself up in a solid spot. He was one of the first cars out. He managed to put himself within the top 3 and could have potentially locked himself into the show via qualifying the other night. We see him take to the inside of Joel Smith for 8th right here. But, you know, he's had a lot of good showings this season. He was running up front of the Oxford 250. It's been interesting for him throughout the late model stock cars and the super late models this year.
Well, he gets clear there of Joel Smith passing the highest I rating on the racetrack. I can't believe you haven't mentioned it yet this evening.
I gotta give it a little break. There's so many storylines around Joel in the iRacing sim. You can't talk about them all the time.
Well, Dylan Bates has got clear of Joe Schaefer Jr. Now Schaefer fights back on the outside. This for 5th position. I like what we've seen out of Bates this evening. Kind of a surprise contender, a dark horse, if you will. Around a lot of other drivers that we expect to be up here. I mean, McCullum, Wilkinson, Traves, Harberts, Schaefer, they're all expected to be up front. But Dylan Bates, not so much. This is very, very nice to see. Very refreshing for the 91 car. A different face around the front of the field.
Bates has usually been about a midfield car, if I'm not mistaken. Usually hanging around.
I don't even recall him racing a whole lot this season.
I don't really recall him racing in too many races, but the ones that I have seen, he's been floating around like the 11th to 17th position standpoint. Like, he's got strong runs, Andrew, and he knows how to be able to wield his cars, but I feel like he's maybe never had the track position to be able to take advantage of it. Now he's shown that he has it tonight. He's made a lot of great moves to put himself up there, and heck, you never know. He might be able to contend with him up in the front of the race, you know? We're past the 100 lap mark, Andrew. We're almost halfway into this race. Give it about another 20 laps or so, and we will be halfway through this race. And these guys have all been on the same set of tires.
Oh, big crash! Spencer Dickinson, Colin Slife, Keith Jeffrey, and Cole Cabri is in it.
Oh, no.
Cole Cabri is a big part of this one.
That's some heavy damage. That right front's towed out from the looks of it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a pit for a repair flag. We're going to check with race control. He does not have a pit for a repair flag, so he's going to try to get that damage fixed. Take a look at the replay.
Oh, Slife was just not clear. Hooks the 54 car around. That's a newcomer in Slife. Haven't seen much of him this season, if at all. I don't think he's run a race yet this season in the National Tour at the very least. I haven't seen him in any Super Series races either. So this is going to add a whole lot of insult to a whole lot of injury for Cole Cabring. I mean, that's going to be a very frustrating accident right there.
That's a heavy hit for the 54.
That car will not be the same. Even if he were somehow to get all the repairs made, that's done.
You gotta feel for the man. I mean, he's been putting in work to try and get up there and take the fight to Alex McCullum. But I mean, at this rate, Andrew, that's, for all intents and purposes, that's Alex McCullum's championship right there.
That is likely going to seal the deal for Alex McCullum here on lap 106. McCullum, we can't call him the champion just yet, but it's looking that way as the evening rolls on here. Matt Rolfe will stay out. Joel Smith stays out. Spencer Dickinson stays out. Richie Murray stays out. The first car to come in and exit the pit lane is Keith Jeffrey, who was involved in that accident. He'll exit the pit lane in 5th. Brandon Wilkinson exits into 6th with 2 tires on that car. McCullum in 7th. And then it's a string of cars that all pitted. So your top 4 stayed out. 5th on back all came in for something. And for Jeffrey, it seems like it might have been fuel only, maybe some damage repair. But he's going to cycle to the front of the field here, 5th place. And here comes the choose.
Yeah, looking through, I've been a little quiet here looking through a few things at the moment. And usually these big time races that they have here with SARA are reserved for drivers who have made more than 5 starts in a National Series race. And I don't even see Slife in the Contender Series points. So I think you're right, Andrew. First start for him.
Well, here we go. Guy, I almost did it again. Restart zone. There we go. Lap 108 on to lap 109. Three wide, Jeffrey, Wilkinson, and more. That was Murray on the inside. He just hangs on to the race car. He bottles up right in front of the one of McCullum. That holds McCullum back.
Still 3 wide, McCullum down to the bottom. Tied off of turn number 2, but Richie Murray's going to drop back out. McCullum's going to get clear. And he's going to set his sights to move forward. He's got Blake Throwenberg right up in front of him. Oh, contact, Matt Rolfe, Joel Smith for the lead.
Wilkinson, Dickinson right behind these top 2. Rolfe gets held up. Nearly 3 wide into turn 3 that time. Wilkinson held back. He could have forced the issue. He doesn't want to. Not this early.
See them tight still side by side off of turn number 2. The front 4 fighting it out for that race lead. Joel Smith runs a bit of a higher line. That's going to allow Rolfe to drive it up off the corner, potentially get clear. They're still hanging tough side by side, Andrew. This is some good racing right now.
These onboards show you just how close they are through the corners. And even up on the straightaways, Rolfe and Smith just oh so close right now. And that's a bobble. Throwenberg around.
Throwenberg around. No caution, we stay green.
Rolfe sliding back now. His tire's starting to fade. Here comes Wilkinson on the outside. Joel Smith goes on by. Parker Traves next in line. And he'll be followed by the 6 of Dickinson. Dickinson and Smith both stayed out.
Might have been the move for Dickinson. Puts that car back up on point. New race leader. Or should I say change to the race leader, because he's been leading this race already. So Joel Smith, Parker Traves now having a nose in front of Matt Rolfe for 3rd. It looks like he'll get clear. Smith goes down to the bottom. There's Alex McCullum working on Spencer Dickinson. He'll get clear. And he's going to keep moving forward. He's got sight sets on Rolf, takes a look to the inside. Matt Rolf closes the door. Very, very close there between the 1 and the 0 car. That could have been a little worse for wear, but it looks like McCullum thought better of the move and backed out with enough time for Rolf to get side by side with Joel Smith here. So this is going to hold him up a little bit more.
I've been noticing a lot of aggression out of McCullum into the corners this evening. Diving big time on Wilkinson earlier in this race, dove big time on Rolf just a few moments ago. He backs out a lot, but he dives first. And I know Cavery's in a bad spot, likely out of the championship battle, but he might be able to get back in the championship battle if McCullum keeps making those moves and if he gets himself into a bad situation. That's a big if.
Fight continues on. Matt Rolf still staying side by side with Joel Smith here. See how this is going to hold up, Alex. This is going to let him save his tires a little bit.
Whoa, Tedeschi! Schaefer, Dickinson in the wall.
Whoa, boy. Not to pull away from what just happened is like Cavery has taken his car behind the wall. He's done for the event.
Done for the season then. Here comes Schaefer. Watch him into turn 3 right here. Just dives on the outside, gets into the 29 car of Tedeschi, and the other 6 car, Spencer Dickinson, nowhere to go.
Yeah, Dickinson just an innocent bystander and all of that. You know, we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter what race car you're in. As long as it's a stock car, even outside of stock cars, if you touch that right rear, whether it be on the quarter panel or the bumper, you are going around. That's the car, it upsets the balance. This is the lap beforehand. Schaefer on the inside of Dickinson. Real tight going into turn number 1 there. They were just fighting real hard. So, update, Dickinson has a pit for a repair flag. Schaefer has a pit for a repair flag. Schaefer was going to get the penalty for the incident on track, but he just told race control that he has parked his car. So he might be done for the remainder of the event. He currently sits in the pit lane, Andrew. Looks like he's getting damage fixed at the moment. Whether he stays there or not remains to be seen.
Well, it's been a tough night so far at Five Flag Speedway, but we are about to eclipse halfway. I want to thank you all for tuning in so far. It's been a pleasure as always. A big thank you goes out to All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Pro Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hyde Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, as well as 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Headley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, Race1Wraps.com, RJ Williams 21 Management, that's RJW 21 Management, RS Under Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimWrap Market, presenting partner of this evening's race, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. Here we go. Restart zone once again. Green flag back in the air for Wilkinson and Traves. Half of this race complete, half of this race to go. And here comes Alex McCullum. On the outside, caution. Calibro.
Oh, no. He's got some heavy right front damage on that car. Heck, he's got some nose damage on that car as well.
We'll see what happened here to Dylan Calabro.
Oh,
And
Nat'l got
Nat'l.
loose.
Oh, Joel Smith got a big piece of that. Aaron Johnson. Wow.
Aaron Johnson actually now has a pit for repair flag, Andrew.
Nat'l got
He got
free,
big
threw it into the
cover.
wall.
Man.
We're watching the onboard of Dylan Calabro.
Calabro was sideways entering turn number 1 there, had his hands pointed to the right.
Watching Nat'l here off the corner. Got real free. Throws it into the wall, and then everything else happens right behind him.
Nothing you can do. You're just along for the ride at that point. Got Joel Smith heading to the pit lane, Andrew, to take care of some of that damage on that race car. Aaron Johnson's down there trying to get his race car taken care of. See from top-down view. Some heavy hits. Some close calls for a lot of drivers making it through there as well.
Brandon Wilkinson will stay the race leader here. Parker Trave, second place. Alex McCullum, Matt Rolfe, your top 4. Jacob Harbert's 5th. Under this yellow, we'll take a look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV. This is the final broadcast in the month of November. Next up, we're into December with the Dover Motor Speedway and the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. It'll be round 3 of their 18 race season on Tuesday, December 3rd. Then Wednesday, December 4th, it's the Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of these sister tracks to Dover, for the SimRap Market Series in what will be their 7th race of their 18 race season. And they are getting down to crunch time for the playoffs already. And finally, Thursday, December 5th, will be the Sim Auto Racing Association back for the Pierce Fleet Service Super Series, this time at Southern National Motorsports Park in New Kama, North Carolina. Here we go. Restart zone one more time. These guys getting in the habit of cautions. We don't want that, but the green flag is back out. Let's try this again. McCullum fastest that lap, a 16.036. Traves right on his right rear. Up the racetrack goes the 60 car. Caution again.
Turn number 3.
I think it was Crow.
I believe so. A lot of these guys just went laps down.
Look back at it. This is the lap prior, so we'll let this build for a moment, but watch that 86 car, center of your frame. White top, purple sides, gold decals. Hits the wall right here, and Kyle Souza's got nowhere to go but into it.
Yeah, it's just a little love tap if you want to call it that. Sends him around going into 3. Pretty tame caution for the most part considering the incidents we've had tonight. See on board here with Kyle Souza running in the 18th spot. In a tight battle with Kyle Turzak. Right there is where he gets the wall, just a crow, and then around he goes.
A lot of cars in the pit lane. Well, this wraps up, I think, a championship season for Alex McCullum. It's going to be real difficult to lose it now with Cole Cabry off the racetrack, the only driver mathematically eligible to unseat the one car. Let's talk about those standings one more time as they're on your screen. 922 points for Alex McCullum through 200 events. 212. Oh my gosh. What a season that would be. 200 events, can you imagine that?
200 events, oh my goodness. What are there, 52 weeks in a year? So that would be...
That's like dirt racing numbers.
Yeah. Wow.
That's like dirt racing numbers on steroids.
Because dirt racing, you got weekend events, you got midweek events, you've got the pre-weekend events. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you know, that... Even the time zones, you got to think about that, Andrew. We got this race going on right now, and practice just went live for the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix, and we've got wrecking under yellow.
Oh, dear.
Someone just called it out over the race control. I'm not sure what's going on. No delay of the green flag, though, Andrew. There you see the drivers trying to catch back up.
My challenge to Matt Rolfe: somehow host 200 events in 2025 through all the series that we've got. Green flag back in the air, a little over 100 to go. One lap complete off the restart, and McCullum is there on the outside lane.
It's like the start of the race, Andrew. Wilkinson and McCullum back at it again. McCullum running on the top side, sets the purple lap in the race, the 15.95, and he's still hanging tough on that outside line. Is he going to set another fast lap here? We'll have to wait and see. Across the start-finish line they go. No fastest lap for McCullum, but hey, he's hanging tough. He's got the nose in front. A little tap on the apron for the 56. Wilkinson's still hanging tough, and Parker Traves says, keep on fighting. I'm going to try to come into this fight.
Traves are on the outside, going to try to follow that one car. Matt Rolfe is a little squirrely in the background. Pataska nearly in the top 5, but there you see on your screen, clear for the race lead. Alex McCullum back to the point at Five Flag Speedway.
That was a pretty close clear out of Alex McCullum, but hey, he knows what he's doing. He's got that car where it needs to be now. Back on point. You see a couple drivers grabbing the fence as you roll on by the speed shot. McCullum, Wilkinson, Traves, Harbert, and Pataska. He's moved himself into the top 5. Matt Rolfe fighting with him for 5th.
Matt Rolfe on the defensive trying to hang on to 5th. Dallas Pataska trying to take it away with Ryan Kuhn there right behind. How about your two LCQ winners, Pataska and Pileski, both in the top 10. Pataska runs 6th, trying to take away 5th. Pileski runs 8th.
This is shaping up to be one heck of a top 10 right now. A lot of the drivers we saw up here early on are no longer up here. And it's proving to be an interesting race at the moment, Andrew. You know, we're on lap 148, going on 149. We've almost got 100 laps to go. And these guys have all just been nailing it so far. I mean, we've had our fair share of incidents, but all in all, the racing out of these drivers tonight has been absolutely great so far to see. Lots of side-by-side fighting for the lead. Now you got Alex McCullum pulling out to about a half a second lead right now. Things are going great. One thing I want to touch on though, Andrew, because we've said it multiple times, and you covered this extensively in the Icon Cup Series season finale. Cole Cabry, as we got one car loose down the back straightaway. I think that was Dylan Bates. I think he gathered it up and got it back rolling. But to my point, Andrew, you covered it extensively in the Icon Cup Series. Brian Smith messed up his qualifying position. Didn't really help him overall in his championship fight as we got a caution on the speedway.
Al Souza once again.
I think he just towed right there.
I wonder if he hit the incident limit.
No, he's still on the racetrack.
Well, he just disappeared for a second then. Let's look back at it. Tried to go down the racetrack, and Thronberg was there.
cut and dry incident right there for Kyle Souza. Wings up high and cuts back down low. Weird little incident right there for Kyle Souza, but hey, we're still rolling solid for these guys up here right now. Matt Rolfe actually took his car down to the pit lane. So he might have taken 2 tires there. Set himself up. You see an 11-second stop. I believe that's 2 tires. Then you see other drivers down into the security of the pit lane as well. Damage fixes and tires more than likely going on these cars.
To me, it's just too early to pit. Too early to take that second set of tires, even if it's just right sides. If you wanted to come in and get left sides, that's one thing. I think that might be an option. And you know what? Let's go back and check. Did he take left sides or did he take rights? That's the wrong car. Hang on.
Might be Joe Schaefer Jr.
Let's ride down the pit lane with Matt Rolfe here. We're waiting to see how many tires he takes. Well, not how many, but which tires he takes. I'd imagine he takes right sides, but yeah, sure enough.
There it is. And he already took right sides beforehand, didn't he?
He did. So this is his second set going on. He's got no more right side tires in the pit lane. That's why I'm saying I feel like this would have been a good opportunity to take left sides, if anything.
He's going to be very reliant on quick yellows to keep a hold of those tires then. Because if we have an extended green flag run, then that is what's going to benefit him. That's where the benefit lies, that if we have an extended green flag run, he will be able to get that car up to the front. However, if we have a bunch of quick yellows, he's going to need to make sure that he does not burn up those tires too quick, therefore giving advantage to the other drivers.
Restart zone, green flag, back in the air, inside of 100 to go. Wilkinson, Harberts, they fight for third. Ryan Kuhn, Dallas Pataska right behind.
Side by side, 2 rows deep. Third and fourth, fifth and sixth. As they roll down turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Ryan Kuhn trying to hang tough on the outside of Pataska. Harbert's trying to hang tough on the outside of Wilkinson. He said it, Andrew. Wilkinson has not fallen lower than really third in this event. He might have been to 4th or 5th at one point, but hey, he is hanging tough. This guy has been so consistent all race. He has made that car like a roadblock for anybody trying to pass him. And he's going to hang on to that 3rd position over Jacob Harberts. Gets clear, maybe. Harbert's still hanging tough on that right rear quarter panel.
Harbert's not letting the 56 get away. Nat'l for 3rd. As we take 90 laps to go. There you see Wilkinson now gets clear.
Profile racer now up front. See a fight side by side behind him. Just on the outside of the top 10. Actually, that might be inside the top 10. That was Dylan Bates.
Colin Slife, Dylan Bates for a side-by-side fight. 9th and 10th. Keith Jeffrey right behind in 11th. Then Kyle Terzak and Joel Smith. And Matt Rolfe on his progress through the field here hasn't gone very far. He's up into the 16th spot. He's got to be very methodical how he uses these tires. Out front, it's all Alex McCullum by a little over a half second. Parker Traves in 2nd. Then Brandon Wilkinson. Everything calming down right now. This is the calmest part of the race, I feel like, where everything's just getting strung out. And, you know, we're down a handful of cars. Cars in the pit lane that are done include Deegan Smith, Eric Tracy, Jake Grout, Cole Cabry, and Joe Schaefer Jr. That leaves 26 cars on the racetrack, Zach, and they're rather spread apart. Aaron Johnson's 25 laps down. Spencer Dickinson, 11 laps down. Alex Grates, 5 laps down. Ben Nile, 3 laps down. Cameron Hamilton, 2 laps down. Dylan Calero, 1 lap down. That leaves 20 on the lead lap.
And I got a little quiet there for a second because race control came over the radio and said there was a car smoking, and I was trying to figure it out. Turns out Joe Schaefer Jr. has been sitting on pit road for so long getting damage fixed that he ended up blowing a motor. So he is really done for the event. He has parked that car officially and is out of the race. Jake Grout has pulled his car out of the race as well. He's done for the event. So those cars that are lapped down, for the most part, most of them are just about out of this race so far. As we roll, we got a fight right here. That is Joel Smith on the outside. That is Kyle Meyer on his inside. They are currently fighting just outside the top 10. They got Matt Rolfe right behind him, trying to point that car forward with those 2 right side tires. Like I said, Andrew, you gotta hang on to those tires now that he's not got any more right sides. He's pretty much reliant on this green flag run to stay as it is, so he can hold on to that tire advantage that he has. He's rolling around the outside of Meyer. Now he's rolling around the outside of Joel Smith.
We stay watching this group of race cars. Kyle Meyer, Blake Thronberg side by side now and up ahead. Colin Slife, Heath Jeffrey side by side. Jeffrey, I'm so surprised that he's done as well as he has after being involved in a couple of incidents. But he is top 10 worthy for sure right now. This number 88 from the shop has been a lot of fun to watch, very quietly. Even if he loses these couple of spots, we knew he was here with all that damage, and he is hanging on for dear life.
I think it's Cole Cabry's day. I think the shop is looking for a good day right now.
A shining moment.
Clear all clear for Slife and Jeffrey. They get single file. Matt Rolfe is moved by Thronberg as well. So he's caught the back end of this 3-car group of Slife, Jeffrey, Turzak. Look at Rolfe, he is making that outside work for him. Going around Kyle Turzak, taking over that 11th spot. Very easily clears that 15 car. Now he's got a sight set on the 88 and the 31. I don't know, Andrew. He's doing some work with those tires.
He is. He's moving through the field a little bit. Up to 11th now, working on 10th. But he really needs this race to go green all the way. This feels a lot like Oxford, right? Where he took tires a little bit earlier and was able to drive through the field a little bit and looked like Superman. But then an opportunity for tires came late and everybody else pounced on it. He was left on the racetrack with old tires and he got swallowed up. But he looks good right now. I just don't think it's going to last. I really feel like we're going to get a late caution and he's going to be outshone.
You never know. You truly never know. That's the beauty of racing. Anything can happen. Going around the outside of Slife. And I was mistaken earlier, actually, Andrew. Colin Slife has made National Touring Series starts. He runs in the street stock divisions, the driver tees street stocks that the SARA series has. And I guess running in that series, he's made 5 or more starts, so he was allowed to apply to race this race. And I mean, hey, even after all is said and done, he's doing a heck of a job. He's running inside the top 10 with less than 100 laps to go. Making a name for himself right now.
Driver out of Wisconsin. Or Cottle Chassis. We don't know much about him. But despite his incident with Cole Cabry earlier in this race, he's showing a nice hand this evening. Right ahead of this battle, Turzak on the outside, Jeffrey on the inside. Jeffrey pushes up a little bit into Turzak. But Kyle Turzak will move right on by, it looks like. And try and take that position away. Up front, haven't talked much about it, but the race lead is up to 1.4 seconds now. And that's what we haven't talked much about it, because it is just a staggering number of what it's up to at this point in time. It's those couple of tenths he had in practice, Zach. Just every lap putting some time on the guys behind.
He had almost a full 2/10 on second place in the practice session. I mean, Alex McCullum has been almost unstoppable in just about anything he's gotten into. There has not been much of a chance of being able to stop him. Once he gets to the front, it's all said and done. It's all over. This will be 7 wins should he be able to win this race. 6 wins in that column right now. You see the top 3 make up 9 of the 11 races that we've run. 9. And 2/3 of that has gone to Alex McCullum. So you've got 2 other races where you had 2 different winners. And
Joel Smith was one of them.
And Joel Smith being one, he won at North Wilkesboro. And then, wasn't the other one Joe Schaefer Jr. at Southern National, or am I thinking of something else?
That was the Super Series. If we look at the schedule, we can theorize a little bit. I actually don't recall who or where.
Well, Andrew, that is the beauty of going to racesara.com, checking out all the cool stuff they have. Joel Smith got that race win, and Cody Kelly.
That's right, South Boston. That's absolutely right. He dominated that race in South Boston in the late model stock car. What a race that was. Man, it looked so good for the Virginia Triple Crown as well. He was looking so good in that first race. And unfortunately, things went awry rather quickly. Cody Kelly, man, I'm nostalgic now for that race. That was such a good race.
Yeah, those Triple Crown points ended up going to Cole Cabry when all was said and done.
Oh, did you see that? Parker Traves just got free randomly off the corner, and now we're starting to see multiple lines open up here at Five Flags. Ryan Kuhn up the racetrack a little bit. Long run kicking in. And now you see Wilkinson go up the racetrack, I think realizing that the racetrack is opening up. There's a lot of rubber down through the bottom and middle groove. Look at them. Traves and Wilkinson up the racetrack there.
There's momentum building. The rubber's laying down. You can even see the groove if you want to pull out your handy-dandy paint tool, our glorious yellow marker. As we look from the blimp cam. Actually, this might be a chopper cam. But you can see the black line forming on the racetrack as we roll through the corners. That is what we racing drivers like to refer to as the racing groove. That's where all the rubber's getting laid down. That's where a majority of the grip is going to be. It's a little different on dirt, but on asphalt, it's clearly defined. Then you go up the racetrack. You see where the asphalt returns to coloration, the gray area on the racetrack towards the wall. That is up where the marbles are. That's where all the rubber that's coming off of these tires is getting pushed up into. And it creates a very fine line of driving in what we like to call the loose stuff, because you go up there, there's not a lot of grip. All those marbles get tacked inside that tire, and all that grip falls away. So you can make runs on the outside line at certain racetracks, but when the marbles are laid in, it gets a lot more difficult to catch some grip, really be able to get that car where you want it to be. So on some tracks, it's different. You know, there's outside line dominating tracks, there's inside line dominating tracks. But I think, like you're talking about, Andrew, the track's opening up, that middle groove is starting to gain some grip, and we're starting to see these drivers really get into it and find their lines and really see what their cars can do right now, as we've got 50 laps to go.
I like that you see Traves completely using the top side down in 1 and 2 and using the kind of high entry to bottom exit through 3 and 4. You can see there's 2 different ends to the racetrack here as Traves now gets caught up behind Alex Grates, the lapped car. But Traves is running each end of the racetrack a little bit differently, and I like that a lot. This racetrack, it might look relatively symmetrical, but it's anything but.
Talked about it earlier. 1 and 2 are different from 3 and 4, Andrew.
Side-by-side battle here. Dylan Bates and Joel Smith. Contact between the two of them. We've sung each of their praises this evening, but they are back into 15th and 16th spots. Smith sliding now into 17th as Kyle Meyer goes by. And Joel has just not had a good night at the office.
That he is not. By virtue, really, of the cars being laps down at the moment, that's really one of the reasons that Joel Smith is still on the lead lap, still in a good spot. 17th, really, but I mean, heck, he's still on the lead lap at the moment. And, you know, I kind of want to pull a comment here from what we have out there in the YouTube chat. Paul Martin, everyone's just making time. They're marking where they're being until they take the gloves off as we get closer and closer to the end of this race. And I think some of them are starting to take those gloves off, Andrew.
The gloves maybe being loosened a little bit. I wouldn't say they're off yet, but they're getting loosened. If we get a caution, they'll come off. Terzak and Thronberg side by side. Battles popping up all over the racetrack as this long run progresses. This is for 10th. Terzak wins the battle. Thronberg into 11th. Richie Murray right there in the 13th spot.
Still side by side, but looks like Jeffrey's going to get clear of Richie Murray, but he's not going to have room to fall in line. He drawed next to Thronberg. Very close. Thronberg go around.
And that is a caution.
Saw it coming a mile away right there.
And that's that late caution Matt Rolfe did not want. That's the late caution where the gloves will come off. It's going to be a 40-lap dash. Watch here. Watch Thronberg up the racetrack. Just got tapped around by Keith Jeffrey. And down into the inside wall.
He's coming to race control right now saying he got sideways and he's taking responsibility for that caution. So it looks like he got sideways beforehand, before the tap, and then it all unfolded from there. But pit stops, Andrew. Everybody's coming down pit road. It's going to be a busy place.
A very busy pit lane. Wilkinson, Kuhn, everybody in.
Well, there's one driver that didn't come into the pit lane.
There's two. McCullum down and away quickly. He got out real quick. The rest of these guys a little bit behind.
Matt Rolfe has stayed on the racetrack, or we saw that coming.
Along with Joel Smith.
Nope, Joel Smith actually just took to the pit lane.
Oh, there you go.
I think he stayed out. It's something that I thought a few of these drivers would try. I didn't expect to see it. Stay out to get the track position and then pit after the fact, because it'll pull you closer to the pace car, therefore giving you more time in the pit lane to there go fix damage and, you know, take the time that you need. But it looks like Joel Smith is going to take little time in the pit lane and get right back out after getting two right side tires. So Matt Rolfe, your race leader with under 40 laps to go, and he has no separation between him and Alex McCullum. You called yourself Andrew Cardinale V earlier. Well, it looks like Andrew Cardinale V has tuned in.
Yes, from the living room.
1-8 Racing Media National Tour.
Right across the, I'm pointing at the wall that is shared between the living room and the room I'm in. And right on the other side of that wall, they're watching the broadcast right now. Kayla Rondeau and Andrew Cardinale V tuning in.
Can't see me from the booth, but I'm waving hi to the little one.
Oh, man. We talked about it. Was it last night or was it the day prior? Was it qualifying night? We talked about needing some Lightning McQueen paint schemes. I think it was.
Maybe? I'm not too particularly sure.
Well, that's what he's a fan of, is the movie Cars, and anything Lightning McQueen is going to be a... he's pretty zoned in now, only race cars. Okay, so zoning into the race cars. Anyways, here we go. Restart zone, and oh, Matt Rolfe got in the loud pedal, absolutely botched that restart. He is getting kicked out of the way. Harbert's in the inside wall rather hard.
And they're spinning in the background. No caution. Still green flag racing. They're 3 wide. Jeffrey's going to get a tap from Bates. Bates get a tap. Oh, man, the fact that they all kept it straight is impressive. But now the fight up front, Alex McCullum has stepped out to a race lead, and he's going faster still. Wilkinson and Kuhn fight for second, and Rolf is on defense. He might have gotten tapped around right there.
Tedeschi turned around. Caution will finally fly. And McCullum goes even faster at 15.823. The track is cooling down. Let's go back to the restart. Watch the zero of Rolf. Old tires now. He stayed out after pitting earlier. Gets to the power right here. Got the car loose. Completely botched the restart.
That left rear really hanging tough on him. I mean, race cars rear wheel drive. That's where the wheel spin comes from when these guys gets on the loud pedal. He had grip on the right rear, more than likely still. Oh my goodness.
Watch Harberts. Watch Harberts here. He's going to get hit big time by Pileski.
There's the tap. Inside wall hard.
That's a big hit for Harberts.
You saw the left front damage, and you can still see it on that race car. Then they got 3 wide here. This is where Tedeschi came into the fold because Jeffrey gets forced up the racetrack. See it right behind Harberts. There's Bates making contact with Tedeschi. And then Rolf goes on the defense on the back straightaway. He's going to get a tap right there. Makes contact with Harberts. That checks everyone up. They're 4 wide, and everything gets forced up the racetrack.
Jeffries cut the wheel right to try and get up the racetrack and away from all of that on the inside. Watch this again here. Watch the 88 in the center of the frame. He sees what's happening down low. Harberts hit into the 88, and that sent Jeffries into the 29 of Brian Tedeschi, ultimately causing this caution.
I agree with Mr. Pa Martin out there. Forget the gloves. We're putting on brass knuckles now. Waiting on race control to find out who will be claiming the caution flag for this incident. Nobody would pit for repair flags either, Andrew, so everyone's still clean and green to keep on rolling. But the running order has definitely been shaken up for all intents and purposes.
I don't know that anybody really needs to claim that one. That was very much a racing deal. That was everybody going chaotic with 30 to go almost. That's just what happens sometimes. And, you know, we didn't take a look at the weather conditions early in this race. We really should have. That's on me. But now you see the track has cooled down significantly, down to 78 degrees Fahrenheit and cooling. It was just at 79. So cooling down big time. Weather condition, well, air temp at 70.1 degrees, clear skies here at Five Flags Speedway. You see not a cloud in the sky as the sunset is setting in, the field doubling up, ready to go back green flag racing this time by. It'll officially be 30 to go. This time in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air for Alex McCullum and Brandon Wilkinson. If you thought it was chaotic before, it's going to get even more chaotic here the rest of the way down to the finish. Ryan Kuhn battling to the inside of Brandon Wilkinson. McCullum goes even faster.
Got one car in the wall back there that was Slife. In the wall,
side by side.
Boy.
Look at these two rubbing fenders. McCullum even faster, 15.7. He's pulling away with the race and the championship. But the battle for second, rubbing fenders, are Kuhn and Wilkinson. And Ryan Kuhn might just get clear.
Yeah, he's going to get clear into turn number 1, and now partner Traves to the inside of the 56 car.
Wilkinson got the wall. Traves goes on by, and that resets everything in the top 4. Now Matt Rolfe and company back here. Outside the top 10, Rolfe losing time. He's got those old tires in the car. Watching the 91 of Bates. And here comes Joel Smith on the 0 car. Smith will go by for 13th.
Go side by side down back straightaway. But the single file fights up in front. Neil Langford, how about him? He had a pit for repair flag early on in this race. Now he's trying to put that car up inside the top 10. He's on the inside right here, Richie Murray. He took a look, backed out, thought better of it after contact off of turn number 2 between Jeffrey and Murray. But they keep on rolling. Turzak into the mix in the top 5 now. He's on the back bumper of Wilkinson. Seeing if he can put that car up into the 4th spot. Maybe see what he can do for 3rd. He's had a lot of strong runs. He was running real strong at Myrtle Beach a few races ago. He won the street stock, or not the street stock, the mini stock event. And really wanted to be able to sweep the weekend, or sweep the week, sweep both races. And he ran a very special scheme to do it. But it's really nice to see him having a good run right now, putting that car in the 5th spot, and potentially, Andrew, he could fight his way up into the top 3. Be talking to us up here in the booth.
20 laps to go, this time by Kyle Turzak, hounding the back end of Brandon Wilkinson. This is a very special run, I feel like, for the 15 car. He has come from the back to the front. Look at the stats for him. He's been as low as 23rd after starting 15th spot.
Move. Oh,
nearly into him. Got back to the power, gets back up to the 56 car. Closed in. We'll have to keep watching this 15 as the laps wind down, but there is racing behind. Richie Murray, still Langford. They swap spots. 10th place now going the way of Langford. And further back, look at this chaos. Blake Thronberg, Matt Rolfe, Dylan Calabro, Dallas Pataska, Brian Tedeschi. This race is not over yet. This could be a caution at any point in time.
That it could. But your sentiments earlier, Andrew, were, I guess, very well placed. Late caution, Matt Rolfe's tire strategy inadvertently works against him, and he is going backwards very quickly. Calabro free off the corner. Still pulling along the inside of Matt Rolfe here. I think he'll get clear coming out of the back straightaway, but it looks like he's going to keep the lane open. Slot in. A little bit of a tandem block there on Tedeschi and Calabro, but I mean, realistically, Andrew Rolfe has got nowhere to go for defense at the moment, especially on these drivers that have the tires to go around him.
And that Calabro machine, the 71 car, 2 laps down. I'm not sure what he's fighting for right here, but he's fighting for something. Also, Kyle Turzak has gone by Brandon Wilkinson for 4th. We could have a late riser here in these last 10 laps coming up. He could move into 3rd spot if he can get to Parker Traves.
That he could. I mean, hey, we've got mini stock fans in the chat right now, Andrew, going for that 31 car who's sitting in the 6th spot. So we'll see how this race continues to unfold for Kyle Turzak as well. The posse car of Parker Traves right in front of him. That is the 3rd spot, Andrew. And this could be, like you said, this could be a late riser. But don't look now, because Ryan Kuhn is hounding Alex McCullum. McCullum has not gotten away from that 72 car, crossing the start-finish line now. I mean, things are shaping up here. Only about 5/10 separate those 2 cars.
It's going to be a sunset finish here, but you see McCullum is starting to get smaller in the windshield. It was 4/10 for the longest time in this run. Now with 10 laps to go, up to 6/10. And I think McCullum is starting to just get far enough away that Ryan Kuhn hasn't got anything for him.
Well, he closed in a little bit right there. Ooh, big wiggle right there off turn number 4.
It would take something drastic. It would take a caution.
The lap car is getting out of the way. That's Kyle Souza right there. But Ryan Kuhn has played second fiddle to Alex McCullum on a number of occasions. And I don't think he wants to do it again tonight. He lost a little bit of ground that time by, but he's still hanging tough. So if a late race caution comes out, we might see some shakeups. There's Kyle Turzak on the back bumper of Parker Traves now. He's closed in on that 3rd place car.
Dives to the inside of turn 1. Nearly clips the inside wall. Nearly gets into Traves off of turn 2. This is all with 7 laps to go between these two for 3rd spot on the racetrack.
This is going to allow Wilkinson to close back in. Turzak sideways off of turn number 4.
Solid little drift.
Keep on digging, number 15. Turzak hanging onto that car, tags the wall back straight away. But with 5 to go, coming to the start-finish line, there's still a chance to get Parker Traves. As we take a little bit further look down the running order, that's Jacob Harbert with a bit of a V shape on that super late model Cadillac nose. Looking a little bit more like a Cadillac, if you ask me now. In any case, he's got Pileski right behind him, one of our LCQ winners, trying to make up some more spots. I like seeing our LCQ winners a little bit further up the running order, Andrew. They may be the fastest of the slowest, but hey, they're showing they ain't that slow tonight.
Up front, 4 laps to go, now make it 3. Ryan Kuhn trying to hang on and hope for a caution these last couple of laps. Kyle Turzak continuing to work on Parker Traves. He's a little too far back now. 2 laps to go at Five Flags Speedway. 2 laps to go in the 1-8 Racing Media National Tour.
Alex McCullum has put on a show for these drivers tonight. The invert did not shake this man. White flag in the air, presented by Whiplash Simcams. It's all well and good for Alex McCullum. He qualified first. He didn't start there, but number 1 is going to be car number 1 on the season as he rolls through 3 and 4.
Championship in the air for Alex McCullum. It's a checkered flag and a race win. And that's 7 now on the season. That is the championship for Alex McCullum, solidified. We've known it for some 150 laps or so now, but we're able to officially call it, and you see the excitement bleeding through for driver number 1. That is pure emotion, pure excitement, pure elation for driver number 1 here. We don't see him do burnouts all that often. We're going to get one this evening. And it's going to be a lengthy burnout, it looks like, starting in turns 3 and 4. Yes, burn it down, Alex McCullum. Driver number 1.
One heck of a season for Alex McCullum. Ryan Kuhn closed the gap there in the closing laps, Andrew, but just wasn't close enough to get the job done, to get the race win. Not like it would have mattered too much in terms of championship points, but hey, a race win is a race win, and I'm sure Ryan Kuhn wanted it just as much as anybody else. But congratulations, Alex McCullum. 7 races, 1 on the season. An absolute cakewalk, all things considered. I mean, 7 wins, 9 top 5s, 10 top 10s. He finished outside the top 10 twice this season. Twice! That's consistency right there.
Consistency and more. We'll take a look at the unofficial race results while drivers file into the post-race broadcast booth. It's Alex McCullum with the race win by 4/10 and change over Ryan Kuhn. Parker Traves in 3rd. Kyle Turzak, Brandon Wilkinson, your top 5. Colin Slife, Jacob Harbert, Steele Langford, James Pileski, and Richie Murray complete your top 10. What a mixed bag of drivers here at the top 10. All kinds of stories throughout. That's how it all shakes out here at Five Flags.
And it does. A lot of big movers. Keith Jeffrey, for starters, he started 30th on the night, Andrew. Picked up 19 spots, put him up in the 11th spot. Dylan Bates, he ends up 12th on the night. He started 19th, so he made up a few spots. You got Blake Throenberg, Justin Crow, Joel Smith, Brian Tedeschi, Matt Rolfe. Matt Rolfe actually started where he finished, or finished where he started. He started 17th, ends up finishing 17th. Dallas Pataska, he ends up rounding out in the 18th spot. He started 23rd on the night. 28th was Kyle Meyer, ends up 19th on the running order tonight. And then the first car, 1 lap down, call it 2 actually. That's going to be Cameron Hamilton in the 20th spot.
Finishing 21st this evening, it'll be Dylan Calabro, 2 laps down. You saw him battling late in the race. Ben Nile after his issues, 22nd spot. Alex Grates in 23rd. Kyle Souza ends up 9 laps down when it's all said and done, 24th, and one of the final cars, if not the final car, left running at the end of the race. Aaron Johnson, Spencer Dickinson, Joe Schaefer Jr. headline some of the drivers that were out of this race at the end. Cole Cabry, the biggest headline of them all, though. Jake Grout, Eric Tracy out of the race early, along with Deegan Smith. He only made it a couple of laps before he called it day done. But Alex McCullum, will celebrate a race win. We rarely see this guy do burnouts. He couldn't even wait to get to the front stretch to do one this evening. Alex, pure elation there in turns 3 and 4. What does this win and this championship mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, new team and kind of my first race to actually show what we got, and I think we put a performance on, show how good we are.
You did that and more, absolutely dominating this race. 176 laps led when it's all said and done, and you had to fight for it. You started from 7th on the racetrack after the invert. You got shuffled back a couple of times on pit stops. Is there anything you can't do in a late model?
I mean, it depends. I mean, these races are all strategy and luck, and luckily, kind of the luck was on my side tonight. The last 3 years here, Five Flags, I've had a really, really good car before pit stops, and lost the lead because of lack of adjustment and not adjusting to the track, and that's where Kuhn would come in and like he would adjust to the track and get better throughout the run, and that's what I was lacking the last couple of years. So I'm like, I'm not letting that happen again this year. Put some work in, and results show.
You mentioned the new operation. You started this season and ran most of it. In fact, 11 of the 12 races with the shop. Now this 12th race, you're in a new operation, your own team. What's the difference, and why does that matter so much to you as a champion?
It just means a lot because it's my first time running kind of by myself without a team backing me. I can't thank the shop and those guys enough. Trevor and all those guys. I mean, honestly, the championship goes to those guys. I ran 95% of the races with them, and the championship goes to them. So Josh, Trevor, Cole, Jinx, everybody over there puts a ton of work into this championships for you guys, and glad we were able to push on tonight.
That's another race win, 7 on the season now for Alex McCullum. Congratulations, Alex. Good to talk to you once again, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
We always know in one of these late model races, Zach, we're going to be talking to Alex McCullum, more or less. We know he's going to be podium unless something really bad happens. And once again, we're talking to him as a race winner, 7th time this season in the 1/8 Racing Media National Tour. And this time it comes over Ryan Kuhn. We're often talking to this guy as well. 2nd place, I think, is just not quite enough for him.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn rounds out his season. Well, really his race as well, a 2nd place finish. Ryan, you did an absolute stand-up job hanging on to that car. You fell back early. You brought it back late in the race. Tire strategy, you got to talk to me about it, man. What was going through your head falling back and coming back throughout the race?
Yeah, I knew the start of the race we weren't going to be that good. I was really trying to set the thing up for the second half of the race, and it really paid off. I just needed one more yellow there at the end. I thought we had a shot, but now 2nd place after coming off of 3 in a row is still awesome. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a great job tonight. You led a lap, especially. You took the fight back to Alex McCullum. I know early on in a lot of the SARA Super Series races and even the 1/8 National Tour, we saw a lot of both of you fighting it out for the race wins. You know, it's been the Ryan Kuhn and the Alex McCullum show for a little while. You fell off with a few races later on in the seasons as they went on, but hey, it's great to see you returning to form. And I mean, hey, do you think you're going to show out and show up for more championships moving forward?
I mean, we'll see. I've kind of taken a step back a little bit, just not really racing as much and trying to do some more stuff outside of iRacing. But, you know, I'd love to come back. You know, I wouldn't say I'm running a part-time schedule. I try to run a full-time schedule, but, you know, outside of iRacing, there's a lot going on. And I put a lot of effort in this week to really prepare for this week, the next few weeks, with the Winter Derby coming up as well. And we got a really, really, really good baseline for the Winter Derby, and we'll continue to chip away at it for next week. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to come back to some more races. Hopefully the next Super Series race I'll be at. But the reason why I haven't run a whole lot of the national tour is I'm just not a fan of late model stock. You know, I've just never been that good in it. So kind of took a break with that a little bit, but coming back a little bit, and just seems like it took me a few races to just get my rhythm back, and I feel like we're about there.
Well, it's good to see you back up towards the front. I know that the Winter Derby is coming up. A lot of great events here on the iRacing Sim, and I'm sure you're going to do great in that race as well. Do you think I mean, heck, this could be just a bit of a precursor for what we will see you do into Windsor Derby. But congratulations again on your second place finish. Hopefully we'll see you in a lot more for the SARA series here, and hopefully we'll see you more in a real car as well. Congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you.
That's Ryan Kuhn this evening, second place over Parker Traves, who finishes third. That 60 car won a heat race on Tuesday evening, had to come through the heats and won his way into the feature to start 11th. Ends up driving up to a third place finish with no sponsor on the hood. I love the all-white car here, Parker. A bit of a different scene for you. But talking about this race, 250 laps, obviously a long ways to go. You have to fight through the nail for every position you end up getting. Driving up past Brandon Wilkinson, guys like Kyle Terzak, a whole lot of guys up towards the front. How did you eventually get to top 3 and talking to us?
Definitely just had to be aggressive on the restarts, just make passes, and I didn't really save any, just kept digging and ended up here.
And of course, with juggernauts like Ryan Kuhn and Alex McCullum up ahead of you, you're in good company. A lot of great setup building going on up there. What's it like for you and the posse, and who makes you get to the racetrack? Who gets you to the racetrack anyways? And what kind of hands are turning virtual wrenches on the setup?
Yeah, definitely Ty Majeski. He's been working like crazy to turn this program around, and we've been fast. You know, the last couple of weeks we've been on something new he's built, and it's been good. We didn't really hit it, I'd say, with the tire strategy. Just too tight for my liking. We're really good though. Like, I think if we didn't have to set the car up the way it did, we could have contended for the win, but I drove up from 11th to 3rd. I can't complain.
And about the only name that's bigger than Ryan Kuhn or Alex McCullum in the SARA Super Series is Ty Majeski, of course, and that's obviously good company to have. And going into the Super Series now, into the winter of 2024 and 2025, is this something we could expect to continue, these strong runs like this?
Oh, 100%. I definitely think we can win some races this season. We won one with Ty there last season at New Smyrna, but I think it's going to be a good year for us.
Well, hopefully we can keep the front bumper on this time and see how you do. But congratulations, P3 here, 5 Flags.
Thank you.
And the Fall Brawl wraps up just like that, Zach. The Simrat Market Fall Brawl 250 with Alex McCullum in victory lane. What a showing of just absolute dominance out front from Alex McCullum. Once again, this guy just has it sorted out in a late model. Whether it's a late model stock or a super late model, he has got it down pat. I don't know what it's going to take to unseat him as, I think, the best late model driver on the sim right now. But somebody's got to find something here soon, or he's going to keep running away.
That he is. There's just no stopping Alex McCullum. Man's been on a tear. And
these are the standings coming into tonight. Keep that in mind.
leaving tonight, if I do my math correctly, Cole Cabry finished 28th. Looking at the points, that is going to be a separation of... Un momento, por favor. That's going to be a separation of about McCullum's 100 points to 63 points for Cole Cabry. So that's going to be a 37-point jump. 37 plus 43, that is 80. 80 points. That's not factoring in drop races, though.
Blowing the competition out the water once again is Alex McCullum. Well, I mentioned the Super Series. The rest of this winter, this is not the right schedule. Hang on. There's two blue buttons, and I'm confusing myself. There's two blue schedule buttons on my my graphics here, and one of them, they both start with an S. So looking at a quick glance, yeah, anyways. This is the Super Series schedule, the rest of the winter, and we've already got one race in. Next up, we go to Southern National. I expect a lot more Alex McCullum in victory lane, second or third place. I'm just going to be honest. The way this guy drives in the late model, I don't know how he does it. but I expect a lot more of Alex McCullum through the rest of this season. But we're just getting started, Zach. We've got a long winter to go through. We've got a lot of mystery races coming up. In fact, of the 10 races left, half of them are mystery races where we don't know where in the heck we're going, starting with December 19th, then January 2nd, January 9th, January 23rd, and February 20th. All mystery races where we don't know where we're racing yet. We'll find out when we get there. But this is what you have to look forward to. So if you enjoyed what you saw this evening and you're not already following this season, this series, the Sim Auto Racing Association, well, this is what you can expect on Pit Stop TV the rest of this winter. The SARA Pierce Fleet Service Super Series schedule as you see it in front of you. Zach, is there a race that piques your fancy the most?
One of the mystery races, because I guarantee you one of those mystery races has to be Hickory. I love Hickory so much. It's one of my favorite tracks. I haven't had the privilege to race there yet, but I love the racing that I see at Hickory. So I hope that there is going to be a Hickory race on this schedule. Out of the races that we have confirmed, that being Lakeland Southern National, Oxford, New Smyrna, and Lanier. Really, I'm excited for Oxford because I enjoyed what we saw in the Oxford 250 this year out of these guys, and I expect to see a lot of good racing out of these guys at Oxford once again. It's a great track. They all seem to have that figured out relatively. The cautions were aplenty at the end of that race earlier on this year, but I still think it will show that there will be a lot of good drivers and a lot of good racing coming out of that race. But you know, we've got other races coming up as well here on Pit Stop TV, Andrew. There's so much good stuff coming, and I'm getting tongue-tied because we've been broadcasting for quite a while tonight now.
Upcoming, as this is the final broadcast of November in 2024, it's December 3rd, 4th, and 5th coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Dover Motor Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Southern National Motorsports Park for the BRB Butker Cup Series, Simrat Market Series, and Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. You see them all there on your screen. We've talked about them this evening. Make sure you tune in for each of these broadcasts coming up on each of the platforms down below. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and X, where you can find us, as well as pitstoptv.com. Glad to have you here watching along, but that's going to do it for us this evening from Five Flags Speedway and the virtual Five Flags Speedway, the virtual Pensacola, Florida, and the Simrat Market Fall Brawl 250. A big thank you goes out to the All-Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, and 1-8 Racing Media, 1-8 Coffee Company, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service Super... I'm so used to saying Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. Pierce Fleet Service, there we go. Race1Wraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Hunter Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimratMarket.com, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. There is not a series that I read off more company names than SARA. It's just incredible, the support that this series gets in every facet. So many partners go into making these races happen, and boy, we can't thank them all enough. A big thank you also goes out to the partners here with the channel, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design. Zach, any final parting words before we leave the virtual Five Flags Speedway?
Bring me more racing, please. I love it. I love seeing all the racing that these guys put on. And I love being in the booth with you for this one, Andrew. This has been a great show to cover. This has been a great season to cover. They always put on amazing racing. Heck, I might even sign up for one of their contender series. It's floated around in my head for a little bit because I love seeing the racing that these guys put on. I love the type of community that they have, and really their whole sanctioning body has put on an amazing show for everyone. They really know how to get this down. They're one of the best leagues that we've covered here on the iRacing Sim. We've covered a lot of great leagues on the iRacing Sim, but I thoroughly enjoy everything that I see here out of SARA, and I can't wait to see more.
In terms of short track racing, SARA is the place to do it. I've said it for a long time. That's why we wanted to get this series, and I'm so thankful that we have this series on Pit Stop TV. We went and we got it and we made it happen, and I'm so thankful to Matt Rolfe and so privileged to be able to broadcast this series and, well, these series, the 1-8 Racing Media National Tour and the Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. Without them, we wouldn't have short track racing like this on the channel, and it would not be as much fun weekly to broadcast, because short track racing is where it's at, in my opinion. But a big thank you to Matt Rolfe and everybody else at the series for allowing us to be here. That'll do it for us this evening from the virtual Five Flags Speedway. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the 1-8 Racing Media National Tour. It all comes to a close now for 2024 race number 12. The SimRap Market Fall Brawl 250 is over. Alex McCullum victorious. Ryan Kuhn, Parker Traves, they come up just short, and Cole Cabry comes up short in the championship. It's all said and done now. Congratulations to Alex McCullum. It's been fun. It's been real. We'll see you all in the next one here at Pit Stop TV. We'll see you in December. Make sure to tune in for Dover Motor Speedway on December 3rd.